Through school, I guess excluded was probably a word, not from school literally, but from the society that existed within the school. And I feel that by not being helped as much as I could have been to feel more included in the society that existed within the school, I feel that I lost, I didn't get as much from it as I could have done socially. Largely parental. I did see somebody from CAMS when I was probably 11 who thought that I had ADHD, which turned out not to be true. I think they thought that because by not feeling part of the classroom dynamic and by not feeling like a normal school child, you become removed from what's going on, and there, sometimes you take less of an interest. And as a child, if you take less of an interest, you tend to become, your mind wanders, and so I think I got not misdiagnosed because they didn't diagnose me formally, but that was suggested. Through the help that my mum could give me, being the fact that she is a qualified support worker, she was able to identify autistic traits within my personality, and it's through her guidance that I then, at 19, was put in contact with Action for ASD, then diagnosed. But I think with CAMS, I do think that should have been spotted earlier on. I think there should be people in schools trained to spot, identify people with ASDs for short, because not everybody has parents like mine that could. And I think then CAMS and schools need to work in unison to ensure that children that are suffering from mental health issues, from autistic spectrum disorders and other sorts of what could be termed as life hindrances, are given the support they need to recognise what the problems are, recognise their strengths, and then be guided into the education systems with a view to them coming out with the best possible results. And importantly as well as happy, content children, because I think that had I been happy and content, I would have done a whole lot better than I did. And I think that's the thing. It's about reassuring the child that everything will be fine. We're here for you, we will help you, and giving them guidance that perhaps neurotypical people don't need. At a conference centre, I think 3 weeks ago now, I gave a speech to it was facilitated by Health Watch. It was to the CAMS commissioners. There were some senior people from the CAMS, there. They were there, as well as charities that work with people with mental health issues and charities that work specifically with autistic people. So my speech was on my experiences, where I feel that the system fell short for me, and how I feel that it could be patched up specifically, and as well as that, I've offered my continued involvement in that, because I've said, I'm more than happy for my experiences and my story, if you will, to be used to try and improve the service for other people. I think certainly people are starting to recognise more autistic spectrum disorders. I think that mental health issues are becoming less stigmatised. So I certainly see positive steps in how society views people with these conditions. And that's certainly a very, very big step forward. I think we've gone from almost, if you were depressed, you couldn't talk about it. Now, if you are, you can talk about it, and people are quite receptive and actually quite willing to help. I think going forward, it's important to make sure that specifically, because we're specifically talking about younger people here, that the schools are equipped to deal with, or not deal with, to help people suffering from mental health issues, as well as living with autistic spectrum disorders. So for me, I am going to Durham University. I'm starting there in October. I will be studying politics. My long-term goal is to be a Member of Parliament, I'd like to do that though. I mean, I think after university I would like to spend 10 to 15 years in the private sector. I'm not quite sure what yet, maybe in business, because I do have some business interests currently, maybe expand those, work on those. But I think long term, I would like to think that I could be a member of parliament for two reasons. Because it interests me, and I feel that it would be a profession I would enjoy, as well as it would give me an international platform, certainly a national one, perhaps an international one, to do work that will improve the lives of the people that hopefully I'll be elected to represent.